I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. I promised you guys a video about the Common App. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to actually record me showing you the Common App. I'm hoping that it works. I'm hoping that it's helpful. I'm going to take you through all the different sections on the Common App. I'm going to kind of show you where all of the hidden things are that you need to make sure are done before you submit your application. And we'll go from there. So enjoy. All right, here we go. So you're going to go to commonapp.org. The first thing you need to do is create an account if you haven't already. You'll need your name, your address, your email address, which becomes your username, and you'll create a password. Please write down your password. I can't tell you how many times kids I've worked with have created their password and then immediately forgotten it. It takes about 5 minutes to reset. It can really slow you down when you're actually trying to fill it out and apply. So you're going to go up to login. I'm logging in as a student so I can show you what it looks like. Here we go. My email address, laurainthecollegeoffice@gmail.com, and my password, which I'm not sharing with you, and we log in. So the first thing you're going to see is this dashboard. Now, here's the list of schools that I would be applying to, and the way that I added those schools to this list is I go up to college search, and I just type in a school. So Harvard, because why not? All right, so you check the box and then you add the school. All right, so I'm not gonna go to my colleges just yet. I'm gonna go back to the dashboard. Here are all my schools. First of all, this is a terrible list. There are too many Ivy League schools on this list, and there are no safeties. So that's a problem. I could not depend on this list. All right, so before we talk about this stuff, I'm going to go up to this little college's requirements. And this is a really fun little thing that tells you the deadlines for each school. So here's early decision, early action, regular decision, and then application fees, whether or not the school needs the Common App essay. They all do. And then this is courses and grades. So some schools will require you to report that information yourself. My schools do not require that, so that's good to know. All right. Also, it allows you to download it as a PDF, which means you can put it on your wall and check things off when you're done with it, which frankly appeals to me. All right. So coming back to here, this tells me that my application has not been submitted. It still needs to be submitted. It's pending. My deadlines are not showing up right now. And this is how I can put the schools in order of importance to me. So the writing supplements, some schools, like these schools, have required writing supplements. Some schools do not. They say not required. But here's the thing, you guys. If a school has an optional writing supplement, you should definitely submit it, because if you really want to go to the school, you want to show the school that you really want to go there by telling them as much as you can about yourself and filling out everything that they allow you to fill out. So if we look at a school like Bard, they have the required personal essay and then 2 optional questions, which you should fill out. Absolutely. And we'll get to what those are in just a couple minutes. So there's my college list. And if I come over to here, Common App. So this is the Common App. This is everything I need to fill out. This is like the basic information about myself, and what the schools need from you. So here's personal information, your name, your gender, your date of birth, your address, your contact details, demographics. Some of these are optional. Feel free to fill them out or not as you see fit. That's up to you. Geography, where you were born, where you live, if you're a citizen, whether you've lived outside of the United States, languages, whether you speak languages other than English. So let's say I was proficient in 2 languages. So let's just pretend that I was proficient in Spanish as well. I am not. You'd be able to check off what happened. So if Spanish is your first language and you speak it at home, you would check off all of these things, right? Okay. And then the second one would be English, and that's my only language, so good for me. All right, citizenship, whether you're a U.S. citizen or not. Scholarship information. So this is just if you want them to connect you with scholarships, I would go ahead and hit yes, because why not? And then if you have a fee waiver, there's a chance for you to give them that information. Your guidance counselor will need to go in and then confirm that you have a fee waiver. So just be aware that you can't just say like, oh yeah, I want a fee waiver, because there are requirements that you need to meet, and your guidance counselor will be able to confirm that information on your Common App. All right, so then we go to family. They're going to ask questions about your parents. So let's say your parents are separated. That's just to make it a little bit more complicated. Who do you live with? What I love about Common App is they have moved from mother, father to parent one, parent two, which I think is just much more inclusive language. So you can pick parent one. Now let's say here's information about parent one, and all of everything that they need to know, what they do, where they're from, that kind of stuff. Let's say you don't have a relationship with parent two. There is an option. I don't have another parent to list. Here's the thing. I really am big on honesty, obviously, on these applications. So if you really don't have a relationship with your parent, if you haven't seen them in forever, they're not a part of your life, then don't list them. But if you have any kind of connection to them, put them on the application. There's no harm in it. All right. Moving right along, if you have siblings, there's a space to put them in as well. So I have 2 siblings. I put them in, their age, and I think there's a question of whether or not they went to college. And if I put in that they went to college, let's say, yeah, there's an option to look it up, say how long. So here's the thing. As you answer questions, more questions pop up, which can be a little bit frustrating, but just stick with it. Also, make sure that you have someone read this over to make sure that everything's capitalized that needs to be, everything looks the way it's supposed to, all of that fun stuff. So you'll have a chance to search for your school. You may have to ask your guidance counselor what to search for. Like, weirdly, some schools don't pop up. It's like very strange. You'll be able to answer all of these questions about your guidance counselor and your schools, if you've been to other schools, if you've been to other colleges. And then here you'll put in, this is just like your GPA and your graduating class size. Your guidance counselor, again, can give you all of this information. Here, current or most recent year courses. These are the classes you're taking this year. Now, please don't forget 2 things. Don't forget about your electives. They count. And also don't forget about second semester. So even though you might not be taking like econ right now, you're going to be taking econ this year. So you're going to want to put it down here. All right. Honors. This is any awards that you've won. And once you pick one, more questions open up so that you can put in exactly what it was. Community-based organizations. I used to work for a community-based organization. It just means any kind of outside organization that maybe works with your school or works with one of your extracurriculars, where there's someone who is providing you free assistance with the application process. So I used to do a lot of this work, and I used to get very excited to see my name on college applications because I am a big nerd. All right, future plans. Career interest. This is kind of just like for their own interest. This is not like you declaring a major or anything. So feel free to either pick something or feel free to say undecided or undeclared, undecided there right at the bottom. And then the highest degree you intend to earn. Again, nobody is going to hold you to this. If you say that you want a doctorate, nobody is going to come back at you in 10 years and say, you never got that PhD. It's fine. All right, testing. Testing is your test scores. Are you going to self-report? Sure. So you'll put in what your scores are, which tests you've taken. Let's say I took the ACT, continue, and then I would report all of the scores that I've taken. So a note on that, you should probably be wrapping up your testing like now-ish. Maybe you're taking the October SAT or ACT. That's fine. Probably if you're applying early decision, I think you can definitely wait for your scores to come back from the SAT. The ACT is a little bit shakier. So just make sure that you know when the scores are coming back. And so you may have to submit and say that you're sitting for a future ACT. but you can figure that out. And if you have questions, feel free to email me. All right. Activities. So here's all of your extracurriculars. So do you have activities you wish to report? I sure hope so. And then as you add, so you'll be able to like fill it in, right? So, your theater company, your sports team, whatever it is, fill in all of this stuff. And then there's the opportunity to add another, and you can add up to 10 activities. So remember, at some point earlier, I said it's not the number of activities, it's the level of commitment that you've given to the activity. So don't feel bad if like you have 2 things that you've spent 4 to 6 years working on really consistently and you've worked really hard on them. That's just as valuable, if not more so, than someone who's done, 10 amazing things, had spent 6 months on each one. So that was a side note. Okay, then writing. So here is where you're going to put in your Common App essay, which you've spent tons and tons of time doing. You'll be able to pick which essay topic you covered, and then you're going to copy and paste your essay into this box because you have not written it in this box because you are smarter than that. You're going to wait until the essay is completely done, completely edited, the word count is right, everything about it is perfect before you copy and paste it into this box. I just would not want something, I'm like crazy, and I wouldn't want something to be submitted before I'm ready. So make sure that all of that's done. Now, you'll see down here, max 650 words. This box will count how many words your essay is. So don't try and sneak 651 words in. It will find you. It will find that word and it will not let you submit, and that will be sad. So you'll come to that at the end. That'll be the last thing that you do. Disciplinary history, whether or not you've ever been in a ton of trouble. So be honest on this because they're going to find out. Your guidance counselor is going to tell them. And then any additional information. Do you wish to provide details of circumstances or qualifications not reflected in the application? If you have something that you want to share, if there's something that you didn't get to write about in your Common App essay, if there's something that you feel is really important for the admissions people to know about you or something that you've been through, there's no harm in filling out that additional information. So that's a really fast overview, but this part's pretty straightforward. So get through that, save it, be done with it. Except for the essay. Have a teacher, mentor, parent look over it. Make sure that your address is capitalized, your name is capitalized, all of that, stuff that doesn't seem important but is, because this is the first impression that colleges see of you. All right. So now we're going to go up to this My Colleges tab. So this will take you to each separate application for each school. So once you've submitted the Common App, some schools will just allow you to review and submit Common App, and then you're done. Some have writing supplements, which I'll get to in a second. So for each school, for the most part, there are these questions. Now, this is just like, are you going to be a freshman? Are you pursuing financial aid? And then BARD has this question, why BARD? Now, here's the thing. BARD said there was no additional writing. You have to write another 250 words for BARD. All right, so just keep that in mind. That's why I really wanted you to see this. These question pages have tons of hidden writing in them that you need to do. All right, so then academics, which programs you're applying to or which programs you're interested in. And again, there's the option for undecided, so don't feel like you need to declare a major right now. Activities that interest you. If you want to submit a resume, there's a place to do that. And you can, link to any kind of online presence that you want to. Again, if you have something that's valuable, submit it. If you don't feel bad about that. Contacts, how did you learn about BARD? How do you want to be contacted? And then family is whether or not any of your relatives have attended BARD. Or any siblings. So here's the thing, you guys. With some schools, the idea of legacy or attending a school that a parent has attended can be helpful. In other cases, not. If you don't have legacy at a school, don't worry about it. It can only help you, but it's not going to hurt you. All right, so that's the questions. Let me show you a Brown, right? So Brown has these questions up here, right? So all of these kind of the same questions as BARD. Security questions, the basics, all of the activities, your resume, The Brown wants you to elaborate on one of your extracurricular activities. Cool. That's another 150 words to write. But then Brown, is this Brown? Yeah, Brown, sorry, has this writing supplement that you need to do as well. So you will have to, where did it go? All required questions on there it is. So these writing questions: what draws you to Brown? Why do you want to go there? Why Brown? Where do you live? What is that like? All of these different questions that you need to answer for this school. So remember when I said some people want to apply to 15 schools and then they run out of time? It's because of questions like this that they run out of time. I do want to take a quick second and show you the Dartmouth questions because I think they're amazing. So again, basic, the financial aid, all of that question, submitting a portfolio if you want to, and then we get to the writing supplement. So, writing supplement. While arguing a Dartmouth-related case before the U.S. Supreme Court in 1818, Daniel Webster, a class of 1801, uttered this memorable line: "It is, sir, a small college, and yet there are those who love it." As you seek admission to the class of 2022, what aspects of the college's program, community, or campus environment attract your interest? I love these questions. I think this at least allows you to be creative. And there are all of these questions for Dartmouth specifically. There's one about Harry Potter. There's one about Shonda Rhimes. I would just write these for fun because I'm a super nerd. All right, so you're going to go down. So with these schools that have these extra writing supplement, you're going to review and submit Common App, and then you're going to review and submit the writing supplement. Those two things are separate. They need to be submitted separately or your application will not be considered complete. The last thing here I want to show you is recommenders and FERPA. So, they're not going to let me show you this because sad. But basically what this is this is where you're going to invite your teachers to submit their recommendation letters for you. It's really simple for them. They'll get an email, they'll log into Common App, they'll upload your letter, they'll hit submit, it'll be great. There's this thing called FERPA, which I am going to forget what it means, but I'm going to tell you another time. That is, it basically what it says is that you are not, you are waiving your right to see your letters of recommendation. The reason that this is important is because it will allow your teachers to be honest and without fear of any kind of retribution from you or, whatever it is. If you've chosen the right teachers, this shouldn't be a problem. And you should know that your teachers are saying great things about you. So it shouldn't matter that you're waiving your right. You have to do it or some schools won't accept your application. So just do it. It's fine. Okay. So those are my colleges, and I would go through and I would make sure I knew what all of the supplements are. Like NYU says that they don't have a supplement, but I guarantee when you go through here, there's a question like, why do you want to go to NYU? There it is. We'd like to know more about your interest in NYU. So remember, I told you that your list should be really balanced. It should include information, or it should include schools that you know you want to go to and that you can articulate the reason why you want to go there. And this is why, right? Like you need to answer the question, why do you want to go there, for pretty much every school that you're going to apply to. So the last thing to just look at really fast, and I don't know a ton about these resources, but there's this financial aid resources tab, which takes you to this great little kind of guide to financial aid. So here's all of these different scholarship opportunities, comparing costs, applying for aid, planning. Go ahead and click through some of that. It can be really helpful. So that is the Common App. I hope that this was helpful. I'm sure that once you start playing around with it and putting things in and picking out your schools and adding to your list, it's all going to become much clearer. If you still have questions, feel free to reach out. And I think that is the whole Common App. So I hope that was helpful, but if it wasn't or you still have questions, please feel free to email me at laurainthecollegeoffice@gmail.com, or you can message me on Facebook at Laura in the College Office, or message me on Instagram at College Office Law, and go ahead and like me and follow me while you're there. Next week is a surprise because I don't know what next week's video is going to be yet, so it's going to be a surprise for all of us. Thanks for visiting the college office. I'll see you next time.